If you never met somebody, Vernon, and you looked at their palm, would you be able to ascertain their personality, their character, from just reading a palm?
Yes, you can. And that's the beauty of astrology. That's the beauty of palmistry. The hand is the visible part of the brain. It is that part of ourselves that we cannot read, but it comes to us through our hand.
Is it our personality?
It is our personality. It's our consciousness. It's what we bring from previous lives. In fact, that's the beauty of reading for someone who's a young child, in that just as we look at a tree,
Right.
we see a tree may be so many hundreds of feet, but on the ground, that tree may be 7 or 8 times bigger. And that's kind of like the idea of the previous lives. So on your hands, we can see a person's previous lives and then understand how they're going to act in this life. So that part, the idea of a person's previous lives, we can't see that. A person doesn't understand that. But by our hands, we can see what a person went through, where they were, what they did, what their challenges are.
Their ups, their downs.
Their ups and their downs. People sometimes say, George, that life doesn't come with instructions, but it does. It's on our hands.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It truly is. How does this tie into karma?
There's 3 types of karma. One, karma simply means action and reaction.
Or what goes around comes
What
around.
goes around comes around, right. For instance, what we reap what we sow. And it's very obvious.
I agree with that.
We see that it's so obvious in palmistry. For instance, people ask me a lot, am I going to win the lottery? It's a common thing I hear at a party or something like that.
Now, will you know that through your palm
Yes,
reading?
you will.
Really?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that if a person wins the lottery, it means in a previous life, that person was very pious and they gave to the community, they planted trees, they opened up a hospital, maybe they started an orphanage. They were just very, very giving and very generous.
Yeah.
And in the next life, the state gives it back to them,
It comes
so to
back.
speak. Yes. And in the same way, if we do, bad activities to ourselves or other people, it comes back to us and we have to taste the results of those actions. And that's called V-karma. And V-karma is simply for purification. So a palmist or an astrologer, especially a Vedically trained astrologer or palmist, will say that suffering is actually not for a bad purpose, but it's simply for our purification, to make us a better person.
Our incredible audience, would you read my palm?
I would love to.
How do we start?
Well, I'll come sit next to you. So if we look at George's hand, we see that the palm is square.
Is that unusual?
No. We see that the palm is square, and then we see the fingers a little shorter than the palm. So George has what we call an earth hand. There's 4 basic shapes of hands. One is earth, water, fire, and air. George has a perfect earth hand. And what the earth hand means is that he's able to take the ideas that are within here and then make them tangible.
I can put ideas and make them work.
Make them work. You're a manifester. And so the earth hand is about establishing security and stability on a subconscious point of view. And on a more conscious point of view, the earth hand is about being able to make your ideas tangible and practical. And George, you have a textbook earth hand. Just like earth itself is very grounded and very practical, you are very practical. Yet your lines here show that you're a visionary. You're into the metaphysical
And I
world.
assume I was born this way, right? I
Yes.
didn't change over time.
No, the hand shape stays the same. The hand shape is actually how you approach life. It's kind of like the car that we drive. So the way you approach life is in a very practical, down-to-earth way. And that's the earth hand. And your thumb is about 45 degrees angle. Sometimes the thumb could be out here, sometimes it could be actually closer to the hand. When the thumb is at a 45-degree angle like this, it means that you have a very strong sense of confidence and self-awareness, but at the same time, you can yield to other people's needs or wants. When the thumb is way out here, it shows a tremendous amount of confidence, sometimes overactive confidence, maybe even ego. When it's here, it shows insecurity and self-doubt. When you see people who have a lot of insecurity or self-doubt and lack of confidence, it stays very close to the hand.
Really?
Yeah. But yours is at the
Mine's naturally like this,
wonderful. This is a textbook example of someone who's very confident, self-aware, and at the same time very humble and giving to other people, and being able to yield when needed.
So if you didn't know me and you looked at my hand, you would say these same things.
I would, definitely.